is a great teaching opportunity here. By that little question that Peter asked, how many times shall I forgive? Jesus says, okay, I think I'm going to unwrap this, and I'm going to really give you guys some instruction here as to what forgiveness is all about. He's training his disciples. So how big is this debt? You know, it's not in dollars. You know, talents. What's a talent? It's probably tens of millions. So let's just say $40 million. How would a debt like that feel on you? You got a bill in the mail for, you know, $40 million. What would you do?
Panic.
Well, panic. You know, you probably, you know, at that point you might just say it's so overwhelming I can't even, you know, feel bad about it. You know what I mean? It's like it's just unrealistic, so why get worried about it, right? If it was 20,000, you'd say, well, maybe I ought to be worried. But this is so huge. What Jesus is saying here is that this debt is astronomical. Got it? So Jesus starts talking about forgiveness, and he starts with the idea that there is a debt which is astronomical. Huge. How long would it take you to pay off $40 million? You only two? Okay. So, you know, for me, probably 20 lifetimes. See? Now, I know there's probably some of you in here that can just pull your checkbook out and write a check. But, right? And if that's the case, I want you to see Ed after the service. Okay. In verse 25, but because he could not pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold with his wife, his children, and all that he had, and payment be made. Jesus is saying something here about forgiveness, and he's talking to us here. What's he saying? First of all, we can't pay the debt. $40 million can't pay the debt. Impossible. Jesus is very careful to make it so that it is absolutely clear to us that it is impossible to pay the debt. He didn't make it a $20,000 bill. He made it a $40 million bill. He's conveying to us it is impossible. And he's also saying that when you can't pay the debt, the penalty is severe. Jesus is not, you know, sugarcoating this at all. He's laying it out as it really is. Now, when he's talking about the king, who do you think he's talking about?
God.
He's talking about God. Okay? He's talking about God. So it is absolutely imperative that we understand we cannot pay the debt. Okay? Now, there's two kinds of sin which creates debt. There's the kind of sin that can be paid back, and there's the kind of sin that can't be paid back. Let me give you some examples. If I steal your lawnmower,
What?
if I steal your lawnmower, get it? I can make you whole again by getting him a new lawnmower, can't I? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, there are some sins that people commit against us which can be paid back. Right?
Right.
Okay. Now, there's also this category of sins that can't be paid back. Is this your daughter? What's your name? Kayla. Let's just say that I murdered your daughter. Okay? That's kind of harsh, isn't it? Now, tell me how you feel about this. I really feel bad that I murdered your daughter, and I got my checkbook here, and I'd like to write a check to make it okay. Can I do that? Are we talking about the number of zeros? Is that the problem? What's the problem? No number will satisfy. Wow. You feel that? Yet, Don't we do this to God all the time? We go about our week and we start thinking, well, I did this week and I did that this week, and you know, God's probably happy with me now, and so I'm making up for all the bad stuff I did. And how did you feel when I offered you a check? Disgusted. Yeah. And yet we do the same thing to God, and we think God's going to say, oh, wow, that's really cool. This astronomical debt that we have before God. And we come in there thinking, I'll just do some good deeds and that'll make it all okay. If I come over to your house every week and mowed your grass, would that, change the oil in your car every month? See, the point is that I can't satisfy the debt by doing something good. We got to be clear about that, folks. No amount of good doing is going to undo the fact that I murdered your daughter. Thank God I didn't do that. We like having you around. But no amount of good doing is going to undo that. We've got to be clear about that. If we're not clear about that, then we spend the rest of our lives trying to do stuff that has no value and accomplishes nothing.